Welcome back to the Dens. It's Monday, January 12th, and I am currently staring at a man who hasn't seen daylight in 72 hours. Frank, you look like you've been living in a dark room with nothing but optostats and a flashlight. It's not that bad, Ellie. It's just the 12th of January is a significant date. Paul Mullin has officially returned to the building after that Wigan loan. The air in North Wales feels different, doesn't it? It feels like hope, Frank, but let's be real. Hope doesn't win championship games. We're sitting ninth. We've been playing well with Sam Smith. Now everyone's shouting that Mullin should just walk back into the starting 11. You've been texting me all night about a magical option. Go on then, let's hear the theory.
Okay, look, we have to stop thinking about our strikers as individuals. Everyone is obsessed with who starts, but the real answer, the magical answer, is the golden triangle. It's the Sam Smith, Rathbone, Mullin spine.
Wait, you want to play all three at the same time in the championship? Frank, we'd be overrun in midfield before the first whistle.
No, listen. It's about the geometry of the pitch. Sam Smith is what I call the rhythm anchor. He's the lighthouse. Since he signed from Reading, he's been the one winning the aerial duels, holding the ball up. He's the foundation. But he's been isolated. He's been a workhorse, I'll give you that, but he's not a 25-goal-a-season man on his own. Exactly, because he needs the accelerator, which is Ollie Rathbone. Ollie is the one who injects the pace in transition. But, and this is the magical part, you add Paul Mullin as the vertical gravity. Vertical gravity. Here we go with Frankisms. It's real. Mullin doesn't even need to touch the ball to be dangerous. His movement is so elite that championship defenders cannot leave him. If Mullin drifts wide, he pulls a center half with him. That creates a 5-yard pocket of air for Sam Smith. Suddenly, Sam isn't fighting 3 guys for a header. He's unmarked in the box.
So you're saying the triangle isn't just a formation, it's a way to manipulate the defense?
It's a cheat code, Ellie. If Parkinson leans into this, we don't just survive the second half of the season, we dominate the space. It's the most magical tactical setup we've had since the National League days because it uses the strengths of our 2 most expensive assets to protect one another. It's role purity at its finest.
All right, before you start drawing triangles on the windows, we have to talk about Friday night. Wrexham 3, Nottingham Forest 3, the FA Cup 3rd round. I've seen some atmospheres at the Racecourse, Frank, but that was different.
It was Hollywood, but it was gritty Hollywood.
It was Arthur Okonkwo Hollywood. Let's be honest, without Arthur, we're talking about a gallant defeat in a boring Monday podcast. Arthur the Wall Okonkwo. Honestly, to save those 2 penalties in the shootout, denying Igor Jesus and Omari Hutchinson after playing 120 minutes of high-intensity football, that man is a freak of nature. He kept us in it during the second half. When Hudson-Odoi was turning our wingbacks inside out, Arthur made that one-handed save from Douglas Luiz that had no business being saved. That save was pure geometry. He closed the angle so perfectly that Luiz had nowhere to go but the palm of his hand. But look at why we were under so much pressure. We were leading 3-1. Dom Hyam scores that header, the roof comes off, and then we just leaked. We leaked because Forest is a Premier League side with $100 million of talent on the bench. But that's the point. Arthur stood firm. He gave the triangle the platform to even exist. If you don't have a keeper who can bail you out when the championship to Prem gap shows, the tactics don't matter. It's the Okonkwo security blanket. Because we know he's there, Parkinson feels he can take more risks higher up the pitch. That win wasn't just a cup upset. It was a statement. We can stand toe-to-toe with the elite and not blink.
Okay, look, we just beat Forest. We're 9th in the league. But the squad is thin. We're in January, and while you've been looking at Wigan heat maps, I've been watching AFCON 2025. Frank, there are some gems in Morocco right now that scream Wrexham.
AFCON? Ellie, we're a championship club in North Wales. The recruitment isn't exactly...
Stop it. Our recruitment is global now. Listen to these options. First up, Mamadou Doumbia. He's 19, plays for Mali, but he's already at Watford.
Doumbia, he's a monster. 6'3", right?
Exactly. He's the anchor insurance. If we're talking about your triangle, Doumbia is the guy who sits behind it. He's physical, he's fast, and he fits that young, hungry, but disciplined philosophy Parkinson loves. He wouldn't just be a backup, he'd be a threat to the starting 11. I'll give you that. He's got the role purity to play that defensive pivot. And then there's Umar Dow. He's been the tempo connector for his side. Think of him as a younger, more athletic version of the midfielders we usually target. He doesn't panic. He's been playing in high-pressure international games in front of 50,000 people. You think a Tuesday night in Sheffield is going to scare him?
Dow's ball progression stats are elite. If he's an option, he's the perfect bridge between the defense and your accelerator Rathbone.
And finally, Bayo Jr. Frank, this kid is a freight train. He's the Ivorian striker everyone is whispering about. If Mullin is the king and Smith is the anchor, Bayo Jr. is the chaos element. He's the guy you bring on when the opposition is tired and you just want to break their spirit.
It's an interesting thought. These aren't just names, they're functional fits. They fit the Wrexham philosophy. Hard work, high intensity, and a bit of magic. If the board is looking, those are the profiles.
We can dream about AFCON gems all day, but Saturday is the reality. Norwich at the Racecourse. They're 22nd, they're struggling, but it's a trap, isn't it?
It's a massive trap. A wounded canary still has wings, Elli. Norwich still has quality players who can hurt you if you're arrogant. But we shouldn't be arrogant. We should be ruthless. We've won 4 in a row. Mullin is back. The stadium is going to be a furnace. This is where the triangle comes in. I expect Parkinson to start Sam Smith to do the heavy lifting, the wrestling, the bruising. Let Norwich get tired of Sam. And then, the 60th minute, the return of the king. Exactly. You don't start Mullin yet. You use him as the tactical dagger. I'm predicting a 2-0 win. Sam Smith with the first, and Mullin, the legendary number 10, with the second in front of the cop. It all comes down to Parkinson, though. The man is old school in the best way. He doesn't care if you're a legend or a record signing. If you don't put a shift in, you're on the bench. That's why Mullin will respect the process. Parkinson's biggest strength is managing these egos. He's going to make Mullin earn that spot back, which only makes the triangle stronger. He knows that to make the playoffs, he needs 11 guys who will run through a brick wall for 90 minutes. It's that blue-collar mentality in a Hollywood setting. It shouldn't work, but it does. I'm telling you, Elli, role purity, geometry, and a bit of Welsh magic. That's how we get to the Premier League. All right, Frank, put the whiteboard away. We're going to the pub. That's a wrap on episode 1 of The Dens. I'm telling you, Doumbia would be a steal.
Shut up, Frank. We'll be back next week to see if we're celebrating a win or if Frank is hiding in his tactical cave. See you at the Racecourse, up the town.